Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now with me, Vinny Motiwala, along with me, Shell D'Souza as well. Cheryl, a very good afternoon to you as well. Markets, nothing exciting, did manage to touch the day's highest one, but off that point as of now as well, right?
Absolutely, Vinny. Key to note is the fact that you had Sensex that hit 70,000 mark on an intraday basis, with the Nifty also scaling past 21,000 on the intraday basis, but it has been a day of subdued trading session. We're taking it easy after the spectacular rally towards the record high levels when it comes to the benchmark indices, but the broader markets are holding on to some gains as of now. Small cap index was actually outperforming the benchmark indices since the word go, and so was mid cap index. If you look at Nifty Bank, tight bit of outperformance coming in from Nifty Bank when you compare it with the benchmark indices, 0.2% uptick coming in for Nifty Bank as we speak. Talking about the list of gainers, then you have ONGC, Ultratech as well as UPL that are among the top gainers on the Nifty, while on the flip side is the pharma index or pharma sectors stocks that are actually taking it easy. You have Dr. Reddy's, they're trading lower by about 5.5%. You have BPCL, Cipla, M&M are the other set of losers in trade. What is key to note is the fact that, Vinny, you had the advanced decline ratio that is still tilted in the favor of the gainers as it was in the morning. So hopefully we will be able to maintain those positive levels. 2 hours of trading session left to go.
Absolutely, 2 hours of trading session left to go, and that's what we're keeping an eye out on as well. But to talk more about those individual stocks that are moving in trade today on the back of news flows at technicals, we have Anj joining in with us from the research team, while from the technical point of view, we have Nagraj Shetty joining in with us as well. A very good afternoon to both of you all as well. Let me start with the first stock that we're keeping an eye out on today, and that is Saregama. This one is in focus after we've seen a initiation note coming in from MK on Saregama. They are initiating coverage with a buy rating, target price of 465 rupees per share. What they're saying is that the core music licensing is to continue to grow for the company. Potential blip possible in the Pocket Aces acquisition opens up a new avenue actually for the company as well. And non-music segment also is likely to scale up as well. They expect revenue CAGR growth of around 23% over FY23 to FY26, while they expect margins to remain broadly stable. Valuations also, what they're talking about is that valuations are at a premium to the global peers due to its superior growth trajectory, but better margin profile is what one could expect to see from the company. So yes, Saregama in focus after MK has initiated coverage with a buy rating. Stock trading with gains of more than 3% as of now.
All right, moving on then. Nagraj, coming to you. Let's talk about the PSU railway company, that's IRFC. How is this one looking to you on the charts right now? Do you think that post the spectacular rally that all of these PSU counters have seen, especially in the railway segment, they'll take a breather now?
In fact, IRFC in the last couple of months, it has been consolidating without showing any major corrections in between. We have seen a sharp dip in between, but this stock has recovered nicely from the low of October, and currently is an attempt of showing upside breakout of the whole consolidation pattern. The overall chart pattern is indicating an upside breakout of the bullish pattern, and having moved above the 78 79 levels, which is a strong resistance. I'm expecting this to move towards the next overhead resistance of around 90 in the next 1 month.
Right, let's shift focus. Let's talk about Subros, and that particular counter hit a record high level in today's trading session. It actually saw an uptick of as much as 17.7%, taking the stock to about 530 rupees per share. Now it's cooled off a tad bit from those elevated levels. The company said that they've got an order from the Indian Railways worth about 25 crore rupees, and the order is to supply and commission of coach or roof mounted air conditioners. On the back of this order when coming in from Indian Railways, you can see the stock actually hitting a record high level on an intraday basis, now trading with gains upwards of about 10%.
Keeping an eye out on Subros, but let's talk about Karur Vysya Bank on other charts and technicals. Nagraj, when you look at it in the last 1 month, it was quite in a range, but specifically since Friday, we're seeing a very good run-up coming in for Karur Vysya Bank again. So what's the story now expected for Karur Vysya Bank? Where do you see it headed?
Yeah, story is definitely positive. What we can observe on the larger term chart is continuous upside momentum, and there is no any reversal pattern or a decline at the higher levels. Though the stock price has placed at the highs, all-time highs, but still there is no indication of any tiredness for the stock price at the high levels. So I'm expecting this upside momentum to continue, even though there may be a consolidation moment in between. The immediate trend remains up, intermediate trend remains up, and I'm expecting further upside. So the next resistance to be watched around 176 levels.
All right, coming to you, Ansh, let's talk about the top loser on the Nifty today. That's Dr. Reddy's, and what is actually plaguing the company right now.
So stock is down by over 5% in trade today. Actually, US FDA had conducted an inspection at a company's research and development center situated in Hyderabad. Inspection took place between 4 December and 8 December. At the end of this inspection, they have been issued with a Form 483 with 3 key observations. Now the company has said to the exchanges that they will be replying to these observations within the stipulated timeline. Also, if we check the charts, stock has given a breakdown from its 6th session consolidation. In addition to that, stock has slipped below 50 and 100 DMA as well. So for those reasons, the stock is in focus today.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on Dr. Reddy's today, surely in focus. Let's move on and talk about JBM Auto on the charts then. And Nagraj, today the stock is trading and locked in upper circuit as of now when I'm looking at it. In the last 1 month also managed to see gains of almost 12% as well. What are you expecting in terms of charts and technicals for JBM Auto? What is the target that you're keeping an eye out on now?
Chartically, this has made an important bottom reversal in the month of later part of October around 1113, 1115 levels, and since then it has been gradually moving up. The overall long-term chart pattern is indicating a rounding type bottom formation. A higher top, higher bottom remains there on the weekly chart. Weekly 10 period and 20 period EMAs are also offering support for the stock. I'm expecting overall chart pattern is looking positive from this rounding bottom and this stock to move up further. And the next resistance we watch is around 1510, 1510 levels.
Keeping an eye out on that. Let's move on, talk about Aditya Vision. This one is also in focus today and trading with gains after MK has come out with a note on Aditya Vision as well. They're initiating coverage on Aditya Vision, given a target price of 5,000 rupees per share. Look at the stock, it's trading with gains of almost 6% as of now as well. The coverage that they've initiated with is a buy rating for the company. Now, what they're saying is that, obviously low penetration is to affect the industry, and that would be something that one could watch out for, given that Aditya Vision mainly is in tier 2, tier 3 cities. They have a lot of exposure there as well. So yes, CAGR growth of 15% in BR versus 10% in the whole of India. So that's where you could see growth, and that would be something that would benefit Aditya Vision as well. Obviously, they have forayed into the remaining Hindi hinterland as well, which provides them a very good expansion opportunities. Especially that's where the growth has been seen, providing a 5 times expansion opportunity for the company. And they are best in class in terms of model, under 3-year paybacks as well, and even better than the best retailers as well. So yes, because of all these reasons, they're keeping an eye out on Aditya Vision. Target price of 5,000 rupees. As of now, the stock is trading at the day's highest point. 5.89% is the uptick we're seeing there.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Aptus Value Housing. And Nagraj, how is this one looking in the charts to you?
Yes, it has been gradually moving up over the last couple of months. What we can observe on the chart is higher tops and higher bottom and sustainable up move. In the last couple of weeks, we have seen some good traction is building up. Overall chart pattern volume is expanding during upside breakout, and current upside momentum strength in the upside momentum is likely to continue. The next important resistance to be watched for the stock is around 360.
All right, moving on, let's talk about SpiceJet, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. A sharp surge is what the stock actually registered earlier on in trading session, hitting the highest level since mid-April 2022. Remember, the board is all set to meet today to consider the earnings as well as fundraising. Remember, ET now has sources have told ET now that there are going to be 2 investors that are likely to pump in money into SpiceJet. Not just that, one of the reasons why you also have SpiceJet that's buzzing in today's trading session is the fact that the company has also informed the exchanges that they will look to list on NSE soon in order to actually widen their investor base. So on back of that also, you can see the stock actually rallying in trade 8.5% right now, and all crucial board meet today for the earnings as well as the fundraise, where the sources have told ET now that 2 investors will likely put in money into the company.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that. And let's move on to talk about Naukri or InfoEdge as we know it, and Nagraj, I beg your pardon, sorry. Talking when you look at the charts in the last 6 months, the stock actually managed to go above those 4,800, managed to touch somewhere around that 4,900 level that we're seeing today. But after that, we saw a correction coming in the last time it touched those levels. Today also at those 4,900 levels. Now, could we expect it to go higher, or is that some correction in store for the stock?
I'm expecting further upside for the stocks. What we have seen recently, that a gradual up move. In the past, this stock has underperformed. In fact, there was a selling pressure on every rise. We have seen around 4,600, and after that 4,800. This stock has witnessed a correction, selling pressure from the higher levels. Currently, making an attempt to move above that selling zone of around 4850, 4900 levels. I'm expecting this to show upside breakout in the near term. Once it shows upside breakout, the next upside resistance to be around 5300 for the stock.
Right, Ansh, let's talk about Laurus Metal, and why is this one buzzing in trade?
So the company is up nearly 1.5% in trade today. The company has approved a few substantial expansion plans, such as increasing iron ore mining capacity to 55 million tons per annum from its current 10 million tons. Secondly, setting up a 45 million tons per annum BHQ beneficiation plant, which requires an investment of nearly 5,000 crore. Thirdly, establishing a 3 million tons per annum integrated steel plant, which requires an investment of nearly 16,000 crore. So these strategic initiatives highlight company's commitment to significant growth and development in the mining and steel sectors. Also, if you see the charts, stock has a good decisive breakout from a strong horizontal resistance trend line. Also, it has touched a 4-month high level today. So for those reasons, the stock is in focus today.
Let's move on, talk about solar industries on the charts then. And Nagraj, this one has seen a very good uptick in the last 6 months as well, almost more than 60% returns. What is it that now one could expect here?
Yes, the previous chart pattern over the long-term chart pattern is indicating some symmetrical movement for the stock. We have seen a sharp upside momentum, and subsequently the sideways consolidation moment, or whenever the downward correction has completed, the stock has formed an important bottom reversal and moved up sharply in the last 7-8 months. And we have seen the downward correction in the month of November, and the formation of doji kind of a pattern in last week is indicating there is a possibility of important bottom reversal for the stock at the 10-week EMA. Currently, stock is moving up after forming a bottom reversal. The whole chart pattern is indicating more upside is likely for the stock, and the next resistance to be watched around is 7,000.
Let's move on, talk about Cantabil. This one is in focus. This retailer is in focus. Why? Because on Friday we saw a bulk deal that actually happened where BofA Securities Europe SA has actually bought 4.67 lakh shares in the company, which is around 2.86% stake in the company at a price of 263 rupees per share. There's a lot of interest that is building around Cantabil as well from big marquee investors as well. And what we are understanding also, and what the company has actually spoken about, is that they've spoken about a guidance, firstly about targeting a 25% CAGR growth in terms of revenue over the medium term. The hope is to increase contribution from their online sales from 2 to 3% to somewhere around an 8 to 10% as well over the next 3 years. And what they expect is the gross profits as well as EBITDA margins at around 55% and 30% respectively, and that is to sustain the growth as well. So yes, on the back of that, we're keeping an eye out on Cantabil today. Holding on to some bit of a gain, given up those gains from the day's highest point, but less Cantabil in focus on the back of this bulk deal that happened on Friday, up 1.5%.
Well, we're just marking the flashes on the bottom of the screen. In a short while from now, you will hear the interaction that we've had with Adani Wilmar, where they are saying that the reports of ITC buying stake are not true. That's the clarification coming in from Adani Wilmar. They're also saying they're not seeing any slowdown in the movement of Adani Wilmar products as they are essential. So we'll hear out from the management in a short while from now, but those are the flashes on the bottom of your screen. But coming to you, Nagraj, let's talk about Mazagon Dock, and how do you see this one on the charts? No doubt it's buzzing based on news flow, but on the charts, how is Mazagon Dock looking to you?
Yeah, Mazagon Dock has been in a tremendous uptrend since May 2023, and whenever the stock has corrected significantly from the higher levels, it has bounced back sharply. What we have seen in the last couple of months is a gradual downward correction in the upside momentum over the last 2-3 weeks. Currently, the stock is placed to show a sharp upside momentum, what it has showed in the past around the 2100, 2125 levels. Currently placed around 2125. I'm expecting this to be an important resistance. Once it decisively moves above this hurdle, and the next resistance to be watched for the stock is around 2350.
Okay, and also the news flow that we're talking about for Mazagon Dock today is that Mazagon Dock actually saw a sharp jump up as much as 5 to 6% intraday in trade was because they've received an order from ONGC worth around 1,145 crores, and obviously on the back of this order that they have received, we're keeping an eye out on Mazagon Dock today. It's trading with gains of as of now 3.3% in trade, and Mazagon Dock has a lot of interest coming in from investors as well. They said the contractor for part replacement of the pipeline project, which calls for an installation of approximately 4 kilometers of subsea pipeline divided into 19 segments, and this is what they've received from ONGC. 1,145 crores is the order for. So let's keep an eye out on Mazagon Dock today.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Inox Wind, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. It saw an uptick of as much as 9.8% on an intraday basis, taking the stock to the highest levels since November 2015. Now it has actually given up all of those gains and sliding towards the day's lowest point. ICICI Securities has initiated coverage on the company with a buy rating with the target price set at around 425 rupees per share. What they're saying is that 50% of the wind market is looking for full stack supplier, and Inox Wind will be a major supplier along with Suzlon. They're saying that Inox Wind will be aided by new government policy for renewables as well. What else is ICICI Securities saying is the fact that Inox Wind's, they're seeing Inox Wind's earnings of 440 crore rupees in FY25, while 650 crore rupees in FY26, and they're saying that more wind power is needed, and they see the capacity addition to increase to more than 6.5 gigawatts in FY26 from current 2 gigawatts, and that's the reason why you can see the stock soaring in trade today, because we saw the stock soaring in trade today on back of the ICICI Securities note where they've initiated a coverage with a buy rating.
Surely keeping an eye out on that, but let's move on, talk about Intellect Design then on the charts. And Nagraj, what are the charts now indicating for Intellect?
Yeah, over the last 1.5 months, we have seen some sharp upside momentum for the stocks after the downward correction in the month of September and October. What we can see is a faster upside retracement for the stocks and V-shaped kind of a recovery over the last 3-4 months. So overall chart pattern looking positive. We have seen higher bottom formation around 625 in the month of October, later part of the October, and the current prices. Currently the stock price is moving northward. So 850 going to the next hurdle for the stocks in the near term.
All right, moving on, Ansh, let's talk about Max Healthcare, and why is this one in focus today?
So the company is set to acquire 100% stake in Starlight Medical Center through its subsidiary. So the Starlight Medical Center serves around 2 lakh patients every year. It has roughly 50 beds and is making nearly 200 crore in revenue for FY24. The deal is worth nearly 940 crore rupees and is anticipated to finalize within 2 to 3 months only, because it doesn't need any regulatory approval for the same. Also, if we check the charts, stock is just 4 to 5% away from its record high level, which the stock had actually touched last week only. In addition to that, the stock trades above 50, 100 and 200 DMA, so keep an eye on the stock.
Okay, let's move on. PVR Inox, Nagraj, what's the view for PVR Inox now? What's the target that you're keeping for this one?
The trend remains positive for PVR Inox. We have seen gradual upside momentum after sharp decline of September, October month, and this upside momentum is likely to continue. The overall chart pattern is looking positive. Volume has started to expand during upside momentum for the stock price. Even RSI is showing positive trend as well. So I'm expecting this to be reach the next overhead resistance of around 1880 levels, another 100 rupees on the higher side.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Coforge, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session on back of a brokerage report. If you look at the stock, it's seen an uptick of as much as 2.5% on an intraday basis. If you look at Jefferies, they've raised the target for the company to about 6,580 rupees per share, from 620 to 6,250 rupees per share. They are maintaining a buy stance on the counter. They're saying that the macro remains challenging, but the new project win suggests the outlook for Q4 may be better than Q3. So that's the Jefferies note coming in on Coforge, giving a thumbs up to the company, also going ahead, raising the target price to upwards of around 6,500 rupees per share. You can see the stock holding on to good gains of above 1.5% right now.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Oberoi Realty. Actually, specifically, Oberoi Realty is in focus, but there's a brokerage note that is coming from Morgan Stanley on the India property side and India real estate sector, where they're saying that they look at the industry upcycle has actually started since 2021, especially in terms of the average selling price growth, and that could continue with the help of the strong macros, favorable industry structure that will be supporting the sector as well. In terms of the market values, also the companies is what they're looking at is that the PE is in an upcycle and the profit to book value is in a down cycle rather than the NAV. Now, what they're seeing is that in terms of they are comparing the PE with historical pre-sales growth to pick stocks, and on the back of that, they have rated DLF and Prestige as an overweight, Macro as well as Godrej as an equal weight, while Oberoi Realty is an underweight. So they've downgraded Oberoi Realty in terms of their rating as well. Yes, the stock has recovered from the day's lowest point as of now, so surely keeping an eye out on Oberoi Realty.
All right, Ansh, let's talk about another PSU counter, and that is REC. Why is this one in focus today?
So, company has signed an agreement with a German bank called KfW for a loan of 200 million euros in New Delhi. This collaboration is a part of Indo-German Development Corporation. The purpose of this loan is to support investments in the distribution infrastructure of DISCOMs, that is power distribution companies, in line with the revamped distribution sector scheme RDSS of the Government of India. Also, if you check the charts, stock has touched the record high level today, and the stock has been advancing from last 10 consecutive sessions, 10 consecutive months. And in this 10 consecutive months, stock has given an up move of nearly to 50%.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about Cyient and why one is in focus in today's trading session. The stock actually saw an uptick of as much as 2.9% or so. This is on back of the fact that the company has said that it aims to increase its earnings EBIT margins to about 18% from current 16.5%. This is what the company said in an analyst meet. Post that, various brokerages have come out with their note. One is Kotak Institutional, which has maintained a buy stand, raised the target to 2,200 rupees per share from 2,000 rupees per share, citing multiple levers to improve the profitability. What Kotak is also saying that the execution efficiency, strategic partnership with key clients like Boeing will provide comfort on the medium-term growth. While Motilal Oswal has also maintained a buy stance with the target price of 2,250 rupees per share. They cited attractive valuations as well as growth momentum. So you have the company giving positive commentary in their analyst meet, and post that you have brokerages also reposing faith in the counter.
Absolutely. But, that was stock number 22 and the last stock for today as well. So thank you so much, Ansh, as well as Nagraj, for joining in with us today on the show, as well as talking about the individual stocks. But with that, it's an end to this edition of Market Fatafat. So goodbye from Cheryl, myself, as well as the team who put this show together.